Hi there. So today we have an interesting topic. We're going to talk about the 3 top weapons that we use against ourselves. 3 top weapons that you might be using against yourself and not realizing it. So that's what we're going to address today. So the first top weapon that you may be using against yourself is reacting, being reactive to events and to people. We always want to be proactive in our behavior. We want to be strategic in how we respond to people, whether they're being negative or what have you. But people can trip us up, right? Like if we're caught in perhaps a busy situation and we say there may be someone who is intentionally trying to get under our skin or being rude or cutting us off or whatever the situation is. One of the top weapons that we use against ourselves is by instantly reacting. And when we do that, we're giving this other person so much power. Sometimes the person is important in our lives, but then other times we say or claim or don't see them as being so important. Sometimes it may be strangers that you might be reacting to. But the bottom line is this is a weapon that we use against ourselves because what it does is it changes our moods. You know, if we get upset, it changes our psyche. It changes the environment around us. So we don't want to be reactive. We want to really think about how we're going to respond, be responsive to a situation in a way that is going to bring positivity to our lives and not negativity. One thing I like to say is, don't let other people take the beauty out of you and make you ugly. And so when we are reactive and just, giving this knee-jerk reaction to someone, that's what we're doing really. We're giving them our beauty, we're giving them our love, and exchanging that for something that is ugly. The second weapon that we use against ourselves is grudges. And this is sort of similar to the first one, but it's more chronic. And so that's like grudges against other people. They may have done something wrong. It may be a grudge against ourselves. Sometimes we have trouble forgiving ourselves, right? And so this really can drain our energy in a chronic, long-term way and hold us back from really experiencing the moment and doing what we want to do, what we should be doing by letting go. That it sounds a lot simpler than it is, at times, but what we're doing is really just containing energy and keeping negative energy that can be fueled into positive energy. So if something is not feeding you, you have to make the effort to let it go, whether it's someone else or yourself. And it's such a blessing. It's such a blessing to you when you do it. And I would say especially do not hold a grudge against yourself. I have done that. And it's not a good way to treat yourself. As we have compassion for others, we should also have compassion for ourselves and be blessings to ourselves as we are to others. And number 3, the third weapon that we use against ourselves is more general, but I call it, the name I've given it is spiritual train tracks. Some people call them bloodline curses. A more intellectual way of putting it, it's the spiritual way, more intellectual way of putting it is basically that instinctive, that negative behavior that is instinctive to you. And we all have, every single one of us have negative behavior that is instinctive, right? So it's like your go-to, I would say your go-to sin, right? Or something that you just like, why can't I just kick this? Maybe something you've done as a child and older and you still have that habit. But this third weapon that we use against ourselves is the most difficult because it feels the most natural. Some of us say, well, this is how I am, take it or leave it, right? As an excuse to not challenge ourselves. And when we have been attached to a certain behavior or attitude for a very long time, we don't want to let it go, because it feels like us. Even if it's not feeding us, if we had it for a long time, it feels like us. And sometimes, that behavior can become, a crutch, whatever it is. It could be anything. It could be overeating, especially chocolate. If you're addicted to chocolate, don't know anybody addicted to chocolate. Or it could be drinking, or it could be, for some people, lying. It could be speaking meanly to someone. There are so many different vices that different people have. And what we don't want to do is assume just because we've had a habit that we have to continue that habit. And so that's the third weapon that we use against ourselves. And like I said, I call them spiritual train tracks, because I feel like it's something that maybe we've done for a very long time. And thankfully, a train, right, should have a very hard time getting off of the track. And so that's why I call it that, because it's so ingrained in our spirit. Maybe something that we've done for so long, maybe even something that we've seen our parents do, or in the household we've seen people do, that it's so ingrained for us to do it that it's like being a train on a train track. But as someone who has self-will, you have the empowerment and the authority to get off of the train track. And so that's what I encourage you to do. So those are the three weapons that we can exercise against ourselves to hurt ourselves. Hopefully you're not doing this. If you're blessed by this video, please like it, please share it, and have a blessed day.